Hello and welcome to Arsenal Domination, where I just wanted to talk about Mikel Arteta's future again in light of the, upsetting Champions League exit on Wednesday night. I mean, Arsenal on the day, I think, played well over the tie. I don't think they played horrifically, but Paris undoubtedly the better side, and they sort of, Mikel Arteta talks about moments of magic, and I think Paris Saint-Germain produced that at both ends, and Arsenal weren't able to, and that was the difference, and it was the right result. But it does leave an understandable narrative or about Mikel Arteta's future and whether he has taken his side as far as he can. And I think on one level that is understandable. I think Arsenal have gone 5 years or 5 and a bit years with only one major trophy. I think the football this season has certainly been worse to watch. It hasn't been anywhere near as entertaining as in past seasons. And I think you can make an argument that we've regressed on the field in terms of how far we've sort of progressed, been able to progress and get trophies over the line. Our points tally in the Premier League will be way down, our goals will be way down, and we haven't won a competition. I think that's slightly offset by the two semi-finals, but semi-finals aren't victories, and I think you can sort of understand that, and that frustration is also obviously enhanced by the fact that the transfer windows were underwhelming. I don't think the summer was surprising. I kind of understood the summer transfer strategy, to be honest. I felt money was tight and I felt the players weren't there. And Arsenal understandably not wanting to get away from the model that served them so well in sort of rebuilding the side from the god-awful days of 5 years ago to where we are certainly last season. But January was certainly unforgivable, as I've said many times. I think you just have to break your model up, given the situation the club were in and how desperate they were for players, that you just have to scrap your model and get someone in to get you over the line. So as I say, I think Mikel Arteta, having gone trophyless, if he were to lose his job, I don't think he can complain. I said at the start of the season, he should lose his job if he went trophyless. But I do think there are genuine mitigating circumstances around this season. I do think the injuries, partly as a result of overplaying players, but as I've said before, I think that's partly a result of the fact that you don't have a depth of squad, so you play your best players to get you to where you want to go. And partly, I think, a little bit of ill luck this season. But that is also mirrored by the fact that the club has made mistakes. I spoke about January, and I've criticised Mikel Arteta for the too conservative approach he's taken this season, which I think is somewhat of a result of not having the players he wants available and not getting the players that he wanted through the transfer window, which again I think is FFP related. But there can be absolutely no excuses from now on. I expect Arsenal will have a significantly better transfer window this summer. I think the market will be more there for players, and I think Arsenal will have the money, and he has to now deliver. If not, his time is definitely up, and he has 12 months to save his job now. Arsenal aren't going to sack him. I think probably on balance that's the right result, but I do understand that narrative. But he has to get it right. Otherwise, I think he goes this time next year if we're still trophyless. Speak to you soon.